Hello, Enwaz. Today I am going to tell you the tale of the greatest pain Dagoth Ur has ever felt. And no, it was not the betrayal I suffered at the hands of sweet Niravar back in the First Era. If you have been following my adventures, you may recall that, long ago, in the Second Era, Dagoth Ur was working in the produce department of a local grocery chain. Well, one morning I arrived for my shift when I was overcome by the primal need of defecation. Never in my immortal life had Dagoth Ur felt such a strong urge to release his divine excrement, Niravar, and so I sprinted to the restroom and I sat on the toilet, and to my astonishment, I had none to release. I still felt the need to go, so I sat there for a moment, and finally I decided to get up. This is where tragedy fell upon me, sweet Niravar, for you see, no sooner did I stand up than did I feel the most excruciating sensation I would ever feel in my millennia-long life. I immediately collapsed. As I attempted to stand, I cried out in agony as I dealt with what felt like keening cutting through my side. Dagoth Ur laid on the floor screaming for 45 minutes, until finally he managed to open the door, which immediately filled him with regret. For you see, Niravar, upon opening the door, I was greeted by a posse of Imperial medicine men, each wishing to persuade me to do business with them. Dagoth Ur is no fool. There was no amount of pain that could sway him to trust a mongrel dog of the Empire. And so, I told them, "To this place where destiny is made, why have you come unprepared?" And then I moved my hands in a spell-casting motion, though I could not have cast a spell while in that condition, and I frightened them all away. Then I limped to the Dunkin' Donuts next door, and I contacted Daddy Dagoth and asked him to pick me up. Dagoth Ur laid on the Dunkin' Donuts bathroom floor screaming in agony for nearly 30 minutes before his father finally arrived. And then he brought me to Tel Mora, where I would be examined by Telvanni wizards. When we reached the Mushroom Tower, the wizards had me drink numerous bottles of Sheen, and while it helped me ignore the pain, it also greatly diminished my intellect for several hours. One of the wizards gave me a rare Dunmer oddity called Contrast, and warned me that it would make me feel like I peed my pants. I said, "What a fool you are. Dagoth Ur has not worn pants since the great Malakath incident of the First Era." The wizard did not seem to care, so I allowed her to continue her business, when another tragedy struck. Immediately I called out, "Telvanni wizard lady, I think I just wet myself." And she said, "No you didn't, you filthy swit. I already told you you'd feel that way." But alas, in Dagoth Ur's delirium, he had forgotten all about that. I returned to the observation chamber, and I waited for several hours as these wizards analyzed me. And finally, when they returned, they informed me that I had kidney stones. They said I wasn't allowed to have any more Dagoth brandy or skooma, which made up the majority of my diet. Before we left, I tried to use the restroom once more, but for the life of me I could not release a single Malakath, and so we departed. I then returned to Dagoth Ur, the building, where I spent the next day envying the Dwemer for their eradication, until finally the unthinkable transpired. I was using the restroom, and I pissed out a storm atronach. The relief was immediate, and I gained a new thrall. But the pain was even worse than the feeling of not being able to acquire new farm equipment due to Oblivion Gates opening in Black Marsh, and my diet now consists solely of water and ash yams. So no, it was not worth it. Farewell, sweet Niravar. Better luck on your next incarnation.